Welcome back to another Overwatch League recap. Today, we're covering the Philadelphia Fusion versus the Houston Outlaws. Things were off to a rocky start on Busan. The Outlaws once again started Linkser and let their DPS players do what they do best. On Sanctuary, fans saw Linkser on Soldier 76, Arhan on Torbjorn, and Dante on Sombra. This trio of DPS characters would give the Fusion an extremely hard time. Dante was constantly in the Fusion's backline, hacking and taking out Boombox. Using Visor, Linkser managed to take out more than half the team after Dante landed a sick EMP. The Outlaws would end up taking Sanctuary, but Mecha Base would be where things started to look brighter for the Fusion. Although the Outlaws managed to cap the point first, the Fusion would be able to take it back after a clutch EMP from Carpe. From here on out, the Fusion would be the most coordinated they've looked in months. Boombox and Neptuno were able to keep Sato alive for the majority of this match, and Busan was where fans got to see the rise of Sato. On Winston, Sato was constantly taking out the Outlaws. With the map going into overtime, Sato managed to knock back Linkser while using his Primal Rage, effectively keeping the Outlaws from stepping back onto the point. With both teams running goats, the Outlaws managed to take the downtown part of the map first. However, all it took was a famous Poco Bomb to help the Fusion quickly flip the point. Philly played their defense aggressively, but it ended up working out in their favor for once. Linkser didn't help the Outlaws' cause by throwing an extremely questionable Graviton Surge that caught no one. With the clock ticking, Carpe went after the Outlaws' support line, effectively ending the Outlaws' chances at taking the map. The Fusion would win Busan 2-1. After clutching out Busan, the Fusion ran out that winning high and took point A of Anubis with ease. However, the Outlaws would quickly reset and gave Philly some trouble. Dante was able to get key picks onto Sato and Boombox, and Philly would be unable to capitalize on any kills that they managed to get. Locked in a Graviton Surge, Boombox's use of Transcendence would turn things around. Panicking, the Outlaws split up and played away from the point, allowing the Fusion to cap. When it came time for the Fusion to defend, it nearly wound up being a full hold, but Dante would use the Graviton Surge to keep Philly off the point. After capping, Cool Matt ate Carpe's Graviton Surge, but the Outlaws would be unable to capitalize on this. Houston struggled with getting past the Fusion's defenses, but an eventual shatter from Muma would turn things around. Capping the point during overtime meant that all the Fusion would need was to take one tick on the map. The Fusion would end up doing so with ease, and they took Anubis 3-2. On Eichenwald, the Fusion were the first to attack. The Outlaws refused to play on the point, allowing the Fusion to quickly get 2 ticks. Feeding into Sato's ultimate, the Fusion used Primal Rage to knock the Outlaws out of position and cap the point. The Outlaws were unable to hold the Fusion as they pushed the payload to point B. Stuck in a corner with nowhere to go, Dante ended up throwing a questionable Graviton Surge where the Fusion were still able to take out the majority of the Outlaws. From there, the Fusion lost momentum. With one member down, Carpe ended up throwing his Graviton Surge in an attempt to clutch a fight. It did not work, and the Fusion started pressing Q left and right. The Fusion would end up not being able to push the payload to completion, but their defense would end up being nigh unbreakable. Sato landed an insane Earth Shatter on the Houston Outlaws after a clutch stun from EQO. The Philadelphia Fusion would full hold the Outlaws on Eichenwald, 2-0. On Gibraltar, the Fusion would start off with a cheeky Symmetra fakeout composition on their attack. Swapping back onto Goats, the Fusion would have no trouble pushing the payload through points A and B. Near the end of the map, Cool Matt would end up having a great 2-kill self-destruct, but Poco would end up matching it mere seconds later. Taking their time, the Fusion played it cool and got key picks onto Raucus and Boink. The Outlaws fell apart from there, and the Fusion pushed the payload to the end with more than enough time to spare. On their defense, despite Muma's best efforts to backcap, the Fusion full held the Outlaws and took Gibraltar 3-0. The Fusion looked a lot better during this series. While things were off to a rocky start, the Fusion were able to clutch out the win on Busan. From there, they were able to capitalize on the Outlaws' predictability. Tonight's game was the best that fans have seen of Sato and the rest of the team look in some time. Hopefully, the Fusion will keep this trend up and continue to look this well coordinated for the rest of the stage.